All right, this is 1-2A. We're going to start talking about random samples. First of all, we'll do the warm-up really quickly because I know that these can be kind of tricky. Nominal, ordinal, interval, or ratio. How many days it takes to receive a package from Amazon once it's ordered. So we're measuring in days, which puts us at least at the interval level because that's a specific thing to measure in days. Okay? And it has to, now the difference is whether or not we have a distinct starting point. It cannot be delivered until it is ordered. So it has to start counting on the day that you order it. So that is ratio because it starts when you order it. So that is our highest level of measurement. A list of all the courses offered at Northwood. Those are just by name, right? You can take English, you can take art, you can take choir, whatever you want to take. That's just by name only. There's nothing that makes one better than the other, which makes that nominal. Okay. The temperature every day in December. So temperature degrees is something very specific, so we can be at the interval level, but there's nothing that says the temperature has to start at 20 degrees. It can be start anywhere. There's no distinct starting point with the actual temperature. That makes this interval. Letter grades given by high schools. You know an A is better than a B is better than a C, so on and so forth. However, how those are determined, the percentages is not the same for every high school. Okay, everybody has different grading scales, so you know which one's better than another, but you don't know what the numbers behind all of that is. So these are just ordinal. You can put them in an order, but you don't really know what they mean per se, because everybody's is a little bit different. Okay, random samples. We need to understand that in order to make assumptions about groups of people or things, you have to have a random sample, and it has to be representative of your entire population. So every member has to have an equal chance of being included in this sample. That's the biggest thing. You can't exclude things from being picked because then you're probably not really having a random sample as random as you think it is. Okay, there's a separate document in your homework folder for questions on a story. I'm going to read you about coyotes. Okay, so it says, consider the population of all coyotes in the western United States. The sample of the population that ranchers observed is largely the coyotes that preferred to live near the ranch. It seems that many coyotes who choose to live near a ranch also like to eat lamb. In fact, most of the coyotes the ranchers observed appeared to be existing solely on sheep. Based on their experience with this sample of the coyote population, the ranchers concluded that all coyotes are dangerous to their flocks. Coyotes should be eliminated. The ranchers used a special poison that bait to get rid of the coyotes. Not only was this poison distributed on ranch land, but with government cooperation, it was also distributed widely on public lands. The ranchers found that the results are not very satisfactory. The overall coyote population dropped where the poison was applied, but the ranchers had almost as much trouble as ever. They were losing almost as many sheep to the coyotes as before. Why? So, we have to understand that they were looking at the coyotes that were in their like by their ranch, okay? And those coyotes were eating their sheep, so they decided to make them all go away. So they put this poison on the land. And coyotes, like the number of coyotes that were in the area went down, but the ones that were eating their sheep stayed around because they didn't have a completely representative sample. They were looking only at the coyotes that ate their sheep, and then they killed the coyotes that were eating the land. Okay, so they put the poison on the land and killed all these coyotes that were eating things in the land, not the coyotes that were eating their sheep. Because of where they put the poison, they killed a bunch of coyotes that weren't even in their actual population. So they made an assumption. They thought, oh, we'll just bring down the general number of coyotes that there are, and then we'll be fine. But they killed the wrong ones. They killed the ones that were eating the land already, not the ones that were eating the sheep, so they didn't fix their problem at all. There are questions there that you can answer. Okay, so do you think that they observed a true sample? All these things that we just talked about. So you can go ahead and pause me and answer those questions. And then this is, why aren't the random samples for the entire city of New York? These are obvious. But selecting every third woman entering a hair salon, you're only selecting women. You're talking about the entire population of New York City. That's dumb. Select every third man entering a bar. Again, only men. It's a bar. So not everybody goes to a bar. What time of day are you checking that bar? What day of the week? Like, what kind of people are you getting there? And then the last one says every third person coming out of a boxing match at Madison Square Gardens. So people that like boxing, not necessarily people who live in New York City. People come in to go to those types of things. Boxing matches are super expensive, so you're only getting the really rich people. So all of that stuff is reasons that they're not representative of your entire population for New York City. Okay, no homework tonight. Just finish out those coyote questions and turn those in.